I just want to preface this video by saying I made this video a few years ago for one of my other channels, and since this is a dedicated gaming channel, I thought a remastered version of this video belonged here. Everything I bring up in this video still correlates to today, but just know if you plan on playing any of the older Call of Duties, Activision has pretty much abandoned all support for them, so play at your own risk. And with that said, let's get into the video. Call of Duty Black Ops came out on November 9th, 2010. Black Ops is based during the Cold War during the 1960s, and it sees many pivotal moments and people of that era. And within 24 hours of the game's release, it sold 5.6 million copies between the US and the UK, where Modern Warfare 2 just sold 2.3 million copies. In the days of Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, there was no game that was being played more in the winter of 2010 and throughout all of 2011. There's no doubt that Black Ops has left its legacy on first-person shooters and all the Call of Duty titles, but how does it hold up in 2020? Today we are going to be looking back at this game and see how it has aged, along with taking a retrospective look at one of the best games of this past decade. Still to this day, I find the Black Ops campaign to be one of the most mesmerizing. Maybe it's just because I love the era of this game, but the campaign in this game has some outstanding moments and characters. You play as Alex Mason throughout the game, along with your right-hand man Frank Woods. There is some time hopping in different parts of the 1960s, along with a throwback to World War II with Viktor Reznov, along with trying to figure out what the numbers mean. This is arguably one of the best stories a Call of Duty game has told. When you're in the midst of the campaign, the twists and the turns really do keep you on your heels. I love the big reveal of Reznov not being there at the end of the campaign. I think this added a nice layer of depth to the whole overall campaign. You can go on and on why the campaign is so great, but it really comes down to this. The Black Ops campaign had some great characters, a stellar soundtrack, and epic moments that made you care even more about these great characters. This game succeeds where a lot of Call of Duty seem to fail. It makes you feel something. The characters aren't one-dimensional and there is depth to the main protagonist. Without a doubt, even in 2020, the Black Ops campaign remains my favorite to this day. Now onto the real meat and potatoes of this video, the Black Ops multiplayer. The multiplayer in a Call of Duty game is what usually makes the game great or horrible, and there's no doubt that this is one of the best multiplayers that a Call of Duty title has ever came out with. There were so many new and unique things to do in Black Ops multiplayer. You could of course go the normal route and play some search and destroy or team deathmatch, but you also had wager matches. Wager matches was one of the most fun and nerve-wracking things you could do in this game. In wager matches, you could bet your COD points, the old game COD points, not that microtransaction garbage that is around today. And those COD points back on Black Ops would determine who was going to be walking away as the winner. You could go into high roller lobbies and lay it all on the line in a game of One in the Chamber, and you could walk out absolutely super duper rich or stone cold broke. It was a totally unique experience, and it was so exciting to play. Too bad we have not seen something like this in another Call of Duty. I know they've tried with some game modes, but it was never the same when you weren't betting with your COD points, because those did take time to earn. But getting back to the normal part of multiplayer, the various game modes provided people some of the most exciting first-person shooter action you could find back in 2010 and 2011. I still have a ton of memories playing hardcore search with my friends and just loving every second of it. If you played COD back then, I'm sure everyone has a fun story to tell when they clutched up and did something cool in search or capture the flag or something along those lines while you're playing with your friends. The game saw many different game types, but it seemed like a lot of people just played the known staples of COD, those usually being team deathmatch, free-for-all, search and destroy, domination, capture the flag, and the list does go on, but those are the main core game types of a Call of Duty title. Black Ops also saw the most diverse and powerful weapons. There were a lot of options to choose from in this game, and no matter what you picked, you always seemed to at least have a chance to eliminate your enemy. This was the game that showed me that you could at times go really try hard and have the best class setup that you could possibly have, or you can just go goof off and run around with ballistic knives and tomahawks. Speaking of tomahawks, who remembers random tomahawks? I definitely do. Believe it or not, I actually had a random tomahawk clip saved on the theater mode in this game from March of 2011. I thought that was a pretty fun thing to see. This game also saw other fun and goofy mechanics such as dolphin diving. Dolphin diving is a pretty useless mechanic, but it was always so fun to do. I definitely like the sliding mechanic in newer games way more, but the dolphin diving will always have a special place in my heart. And let us not forget about combat training mode. Yes, you can laugh at this mode all you want, but this was a fun mode to try out different weapons and kill streaks, or if you just want to go into a game type and feel like a complete god and blow off some steam. I always enjoyed hopping into combat training when I was really bored and just wanted to feel like I really ruled the roost. And there is no denying how funny the computer 3-arc players in combat training are. The multiplayer mode of Black Ops also saw some of the most iconic Call of Duty maps ever created. Nuketown and Firing Range. Need I say more? There is of course a plethora of maps in this game, especially once you look at the DLC maps. I personally don't think I hate any of the maps in this game. There are definitely ones I don't love, but I gotta say I don't hate any of the maps in this game. All the maps seem to be fairly well balanced enough, and they all provided for unique and fun and enjoyable gameplay. I think the DLC in this game was some of the best COD has ever offered. The DLC in this game didn't feel like a second thought. It felt like it truly belonged as part of the game. There could be so much said about all the maps in Black Ops, but I'll leave it at this. Black Ops multiplayer, along with its maps, are some of the most iconic and beloved items in all of Call of Duty. I don't think Call of Duty would be as iconic as it is without Black Ops. I know everyone loved Modern Warfare 2, but Black Ops did just as much, if not more, to help push the brand of Call of Duty to an iconic and memorable level. Overall, the multiplayer of Black Ops in 2020 still holds up really well today. I couldn't believe I still found a lobby to play in and it wasn't hacked. But I did, and it was just as fun as I remember it being. Black Ops multiplayer may just be timeless at this point. I think we all know what the third part of this video is going to be about. Zombies would not have turned into the phenomenon it did without Black Ops. Plain and simple. What Black Ops did for zombies is quite incredible. This game alone has some of the most iconic zombies maps that have ever come out. Kino, 5, Moon. Black Ops even brought back the beloved World at War maps and gave them a facelift. Black Ops pushed the zombies narrative forward, along with showing that it was a force to be reckoned with, and it really did start to develop a community of its own at that time. Before Black Ops, most people just casually played zombies when they were bored of multiplayer. With Black Ops, that is a completely different story. There are some people who played Black Ops and they exclusively played the zombies mode and did not even bother with the online multiplayer. This trend of course has continued throughout other Treyarch COD zombies. Zombies is as big as multiplayer, if not bigger in some instances. For a lot of people, Kino was the first taste of COD zombies that they've ever gotten. That was definitely the case for me. I'll never forget being so terrified while playing a game and wondering why the zombies round wouldn't save. Yeah, I was that big of a noob back then. I really didn't even get the basic point of zombies and to survive. Black Ops Zombies also saw the first ever Easter eggs put in a zombies mode. I believe Ascension was the first map to have a zombies Easter egg, and after that Easter eggs have kind of taken on a life of their own. Probably the most iconic and well-known Easter egg in a Black Ops Zombies map is the Moon Easter egg. If you do the Moon Easter egg, you send a nuke from the moon to the earth and you set off the events of Black Ops 2. Which is honestly pretty cool. It's a pretty cool tie-in that the end of Black Ops 1 sets up the events that take place in Black Ops 2 Zombies. It's honestly pretty epic and creative when you think about it from a storytelling point of view, along with it just being super cool to see from the moon vantage point. It's just one of those things that always sticks with you once you see it, even if you just saw someone do it on YouTube. But how was Black Ops Zombies in 2020? It still honestly plays pretty good. I kind of forgot how hard zombies actually used to be before Gobblegums, so if you're looking for a true challenge, Black Ops Zombies is definitely for you. But if I have to honestly choose, I think I'd rather play Black Ops 3 Zombies if I want to revisit some of these older maps. It is just visually far superior, and I do enjoy the newer mechanics of the zombie movements and the sliding. But overall, Black Ops and Zombies will forever be tied to one another. They both pushed themselves to their absolute limits for the time, and we were rewarded with an incredible Zombies experience back during when the game was actually in its prime, and even here in 2020. Now, how are the graphics and gameplay in 2020? For a 10-year-old game, this game still does play surprisingly smooth. There were not many moments where my character didn't feel perfectly responsive, along with the shooting being some of the best feeling even in 2020. The sound has also held up quite well over the years. Maybe it's just not quite up to modern standards, but it does sound pretty up to snuff if you ask me. Now the graphics is where this game kind of does take a dip compared to modern standards. This game doesn't look all that bad, but it doesn't look great in 2020. You have to remember this game was only being put out in 720p and it shows every bit of it. The maps and the guns still do look vibrant, even if the textures aren't perfectly smooth and completely lifelike. Again, this game is 10 years old and I think it is standing the test of time quite well. With over 10 days of in-game time put into this game, I was very excited to go back and see how this game was doing in 2020. I loved and played this game a ton back in the day and enjoyed every feature it had to offer. It was fun going back and seeing what my old KD was and what some of the old maps look like. If you have the game laying around, I'd suggest definitely go back and check it out. I think it'd be a fun nostalgic trip if you haven't played the game in a long while. It's still that enjoyable to go back and play this old game. But with that said, there is no doubt in my mind that this game still holds up in 2020. Yes, the graphics have dipped a bit, but it's to be expected for a 10-year-old game. Beyond that, this game is as great as it was a decade ago. To me, this is the pinnacle of Call of Duty titles, and not many other games have come close to it. Black Ops will always have a special place in my heart. It was my first Call of Duty, and it still remains my favorite. With that said, how does Black Ops hold up in your eyes? Is it one of the best Call of Duty titles around? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for spending some time with me and going down this nostalgic rabbit hole. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.